All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Jake, favorite investor and your favorite house flipper. And I've flipped over 900 houses using 100% OPM, other people's money. And in this video, we're gonna break down exactly how that process looks. A lot of times when I talk about OPM, whether I'm on stage or if I'm doing something online, people immediately get skeptical. They think there's some sort of catch. They think it's not entirely possible that you can buy a house, flip it, make a profit on it without using anything from your own pocket. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case, and I'm gonna show you why. Now, first and foremost, get a pencil sharpened, get your pad of paper, make sure your pencil's number 2. We're gonna start breaking this down. So first and foremost, people have the whole game twisted on how you approach getting a lender. Most people think that you have to find a lender first, get pre-qualified, go on vacation with their family, send Christmas cards to their family, talk sports, maybe go to a game with them in order to even have a chance at getting into this house flipping game. They think they need a relationship and everything set in stone up front. And that's absolutely twisted. It's absolutely backwards. In reality, most private lenders don't really care what your family does, who your favorite sports team is. They don't care about that stuff. They care about the strength of the property that you bring in front of them. Now, it doesn't hurt having a good relationship with a lender, but the best way to have that initial conversation is to bring a property to the table. So while most people think you need the lender first, in actuality, you need the property first. So step 1 in that sub process is find a good property, specifically with really good numbers. You want to have a purchase price here, an estimated resale value here, and ideally as low as possible of renovation costs so you have a maximized profit. If you bring a deal like that to a lender, that lender will look at the strength of the deal and opt to give you money or to not give you money based on how much potential profit you have. We're going to break down why in a minute. So if you find a deal, you don't need to have a lender first in order to make an offer on it. Actually, you want to have the property locked in under contract and bring it to the lender on your first conversation with them. This gives you higher value. This gives the lender some excitement and gives them a little bit of drive to actually have that conversation and go in depth with you. And that's the best way to start the relationship. So in the big picture, once we bring a property to the lender, it's also important that we have a good idea of what we are going to need. I'm gonna explain that in depth, sharpen that pencil again. Let's break that down. The first step in understanding what we need is taking inventory of ourselves and specifically our financial situation. Now, some people start this game broke. If you're like me, I had $700 in my bank account. Actually, $697. I had to go to a seminar to even learn some of this stuff. Using my girlfriend's credit card, she had to co-sign on a credit card with me. I was in debt and broke.
Oh! You ripped it! You ripped the money!
We rich. Look.
We're not rich!
You're rich.
We're broke!
It's okay to be broke as long as you have a good deal to put in front of them. So take inventory. Do you have any money that you can and are willing to put into a deal? And if the answer is no, that's good. And if the answer is yes, that's good. Just understanding what your situation looks like is step number 1. Now, step number 2 is send it out to numerous lenders that you find on Facebook. You can find them on biggerpockets.com. You can find them on social media, or you could just do a simple Google search to find them, right? Find hard money lenders, private lenders, and there's 2 types. One type that you can go with is a hard money lender, and they typically will give you a loan, but they'll cap that loan, so you have to have a little bit of a down payment. Not a huge one. A lot of times it looks like 85% of the purchase price that they'll lend you, plus 100% of the rehab. Other times it's 75% of the future value of the home. So most often with hard money lenders, you got to bring a little bit of what we call skin into the game.
Give me some skin, my friend.
Now, other hard money lenders and other truly private lenders, I like to call them Uncle Rico.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Because it's like a rich uncle that might be able to give you a loan with no caps on it. If you have one of them, sometimes, and it's not all the time, but sometimes they will lend you the entire thing and do a profit share. Okay, so that big lender is either going to leave you needing skin in the game or want to do a profit share with you, and they'll give you everything. Okay, once you pass that step, if you need skin in the game, if you need to bring a down payment, Look at how you assessed yourself and took inventory. Do you have any money to put in? Are you comfortable putting money in? If there's a down payment that's required, that doesn't mean you're out of the game if you're broke. What that means is you bring in a second lender to bridge the gap between what the hard money lender is giving you and what you need to make the deal happen. If you're dead broke like I was when I first started, I needed every dime covered because I didn't have nothing. So if you don't have money, you need to bridge that gap. We find what's called gap funders. A gap funder will come and give you a second loan to not only cover your down payment, but to cover any lender fees that the hard money lender has for you. They're called points and junk fees. They're there to cover your interest payments that you have to give to the hard money lender over the course of the 4, 5, maybe 6 months of the project. And they're there to also cover any holding costs, utilities. They're there to cover your insurance bill, your property taxes. They cover all of that, so you literally have zero money into the game. Now, the hard money lender and the gap funder, they don't do it for free, my friends. You're gonna have to pay them a return.
Give us some money!
Which is why the amount of profit in the deal is so important. The bigger amount of profit and the more amount of profit that you'll make after paying the lenders, the safer the hard money lender is, and the more likely that they will throw their cash at you for you to flip a house with. They will literally battle each other for the opportunity for you to pick them to give you their cash to flip that house. As long as you have a good amount of profit, after they're paid, you get everything that's left over. That is the best possible situation to be in. Now we're gonna dive a step deeper. Dive. Bear with me here. The reason that the strength of the deal is so important is because these lenders put what's called a lien on the property. That is spelled L-I-E-N, lien. A lien is a mortgage or a deed of trust, and it's essentially a piece of paper that is filed with the county that says the lender has the ability to foreclose on the home if you do something shady. If we do something shady as the borrower, or if we flee the country, or God forbid, we get struck by lightning and we're not here on this earth anymore, the lender has cushion. They have a safety net, and that's a property that they can take over that's way more profitable than the amount of money that they put into the deal. So the strength of the deal and the more profit in the deal, that's called collateral for the lender. It's what they get to take if things go south. So the stronger the deal, the better opportunity you'll have to have lenders throwing that cash on you. Now let's break down what this looks like in real life. Now with this hypothetical property, if I find a property that has a projected resale of $300,000, and most of you know I'm not a real estate agent, I hire real estate agents to sell these houses. Typically that's about 5% of the transaction amount that go right off the top in realtor commissions. Now in addition to that, between 1 and 2% goes into closing costs, title company, escrow company. So if I sell this house for 300 grand, after taking away these fees, realistically, I should expect to make about $280,000 in revenue that I bring in. So if I'm putting a property under contract, let's say I can get it locked in at $170,000, and a bunch of contractors give me bids for right around $30,000. I have about $2,000 in closing costs, about 1 to 2% of this number, and holding costs, meaning utilities, HOA fees, things of that nature. Let's say it's another $2,000. I'm all in after adding all this up for about $204,000. So the difference, if I flip it and put $204,000 into it in order to sell it for 300 grand and bring $280,000 out of it, that's about $76,000 in profit. And that's if I'm using my own cash. If we are bringing a lender in and they're covering, let's say, $190,000 of the 204 grand, and they're having us pay them a couple $1,000 per month in interest, if that deal takes 6 months, you're gonna have to pay them $12,000. That comes out of this, right? If $12,000 is removed from the $76,000 profit that we had, we still are making $64,000 and we still are sitting comfortable. These are the numbers that you have to look at. And when you bring a deal to the table to a lender, these are the numbers that they are gonna look at. So the bigger the spread between these two numbers, the more likely these lenders are going to be throwing their cash at you. All right, you guys, that is how OPM actually works in the house flipping game. If you want to learn more, hit the link in the description. Talk to you soon. Happy investing.